Welcome back to another episode of PulpMX Fantasy. My name is Donnie, and today is a little different. We're actually going to do a breakdown of the most recent race. So in this video, we're going to do a breakdown of the heartbreak that was Fantasy Supercross at Anaheim 2. And let's just get right into the numbers. The first thing I want to talk about is the number of teams. There were 12,846 players that filled out their team. 6,035 of them were in the championship league. The middle of the pack scored 187 points, so as long as you scored more than 187, you did better than the majority of players in the championship league. I did not. Let's go ahead and take a look at my failed team. This week coming in, I recommended you guys to take Dylan Ferrandis and Ken Roczen as your All-Stars. I also picked Christian Craig, Michael Lieb, and Michael Mosman, as well as Martin Davalos, Justin Bogle, and John Short. However, Lieb became sick. I tweeted and Instagrammed about that the morning it happened and then replaced him with Logan Carno, and Short qualified poorly. If you remember in the preview show, I said if he qualified in the top 25 or 27, I would be interested in him. Fortunately, he qualified more in the mid-30s, so I swapped him out for Benny Bloss. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at PulpMX Fantasy for the up-to-the-minute news on riders missing the race or potentially being injured or ill. Including Austin Faulkner as a first lap leader, I only managed to score 175 points, which is a good bit less than the 187 median. If you would have just taken the most common team, the most picked 8 riders, you would have ended up with a score of 222, not counting first lap leaders. Nobody was perfect this week, as the perfect team consisted of Clout, Auberson, Mosman, Dean Wilson, Zach Osborne, Martin Davalos, and one of 3 450 and 5 250 All-Stars. That would have taken you home 270 points. Add in the first to the finish line, and you could have had a cool 300. Nobody had a perfect team this week. 8 of the 16 All-Stars managed to score 26, which is 50%. That brings our total of 22 perfect All-Star scores out of 46 tries, not counting McAdoo and Jeremy Martin, who missed their races entirely. Looking at the pick trends, Adam Cianciarulo and Dylan Ferrandis were the most picked All-Star riders this weekend. Christian Craig was the most picked non-All-Star rider, although he also was the biggest bust, scoring only 1 point after his collision with Dylan Ferrandis. Logan Clout and Martin Davalos were the top scorers in their respective classes. Kyle Cunningham was the highest picked rider to miss the main, and shout out to Lorenzo Camparisi for being our first 16 handicap guy to make a main. He had a 0% pick trend and managed to score 34 points. Riders that missed the main had a combined 33% pick trend, and riders that didn't even line up this weekend had a combined 10% pick trend, which means you need to be paying better attention leading up to the race. Stay on Twitter, stay on Instagram, look at those qualifying times, make sure the riders on your team are actually racing before the gates drop. Blake Baggett loses his All-Star status moving into Glendale, with Zach Osborne taking his place in the top 8. Heads up that Jet Lawrence will remain an All-Star despite his crash and injury. He is still in the top 8 in points after his 8th place finish at Anaheim 2. This week in the PulpMX Fantasy League, Ma Heck MX was the highest scorer on the week, scoring 236 points. Enamel still has the lead on the season with 732 points, with Tank Slap in second place and our defending champion Red #1 plate Cook only 15 points back from that. 20 riders this week managed to score double points, including the entire 250 squad minus Craig and Costello. Couple that with the 8 All-Stars that managed to score 26, and 28 of the 44 riders in the mains this weekend scored 26 or more, which is the highest percentage we've had yet this season. In addition to race-to-race stats, there are always reports that I'm working on, and I'd like to share work in progress with you guys in these videos every week. This week I want to share my findings about All-Stars and which handicap All-Stars are the best. In 2019, the 2 handicap All-Stars had the highest probability of having that perfect 26 score, followed second by the 3 handicap. However, the 0 handicap actually had the highest average score, but that's really not a surprise as you have to really be crushing it to earn a 0 handicap, and it's no surprise if one of those riders continues to crush it. That's gonna do it for our first video in the PulpMX Fantasy wrap-up show. Let me know what you think about this, if this is something you would like us to move forward with, or if you would prefer to just have social media posts throughout the week to give you these kind of stats. Also, let me know how the audio sounds. I have a brand new lavalier mic that I'm testing out for this video. Let me know if it sounds better, if it sounds worse, or if it doesn't really sound any different to you. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing to the videos only takes a second, and that way you never miss one of our videos, and it also really helps us grow the channel so that I can make more videos and bring more content is relating to Fantasy Supercross to you. Be on the lookout for a video covering Triple Crowns and how to capitalize on the format for Fantasy later this week. And as always, expect the Glendale preview show on Thursday or Friday morning once we get the handicap results for the week. Until next time, I'm Donnie. Thank you for watching Roto Cross Fantasy. Take care.